exactly what we're going to be talking about right now. We're going to be diving in. We're going to be talking about what you need to know to successfully navigate business credit building in 2023. I'm going to keep this short and condensed and give you the exact roadmap you need to succeed, to successfully get access to the money you need for an uncertain future, right? We've got a lot happening right now with a potential recession looming, with record high inflation. We know the economy is shifting. We feel it right now, and consumer confidence is dropping. Less people are buying. So we've got to have the money to pull ourselves through that. Business credit's the key to get there, but how do we do it? It's exactly what we're going to dive into. I'm going to see which camera I'm on. Oh, now I know. There's so many cameras here. I want to make sure I'm talking to the right one today. All right, so here. Let's dive in. Before we do, here is our contact information, promo code. You might want to take a screenshot of this. First of all, it's the coolest slide I've ever had on a PowerPoint presentation. There's that. And also, we want to make sure that you are set up right to build business credit 2023. So I've got a promo code here that gets you over $10,000 worth of bonuses when you're enrolling with us, including a year's worth of free credit monitoring. I can't even remember a time we've offered a year's worth of free credit monitoring. Look, you're going to spend $2,400 on that with the business credit reporting agencies, and that's part of our $10,000 bonus package we're giving away right now for the rest of the year. So all you have to do is use promo code 2022 if you're checking out with us, or give us a call, 877-600-2487. We'll get you your 10 grand in bonuses. We'll get you your year's worth of business credit monitoring for free and talk to you about everything you need to successfully build business credit next year. Okay, so look, let's get you started. A lot's changing right now. A lot is changing. So let me give you just an idea of some of the highlights here. Wex Fleet, for example, stopped offering no personal guarantee accounts this year. That affected 27 different business credit cards. Now, most of the gurus that you hear from online don't even talk about stuff like that, but that's the changes that you need to know about. A lot of other vendors are no longer reporting to the business credit reporting agencies. Others like Quill, that always used to be a good starter vendor, have now moved to tier 2, tier 3 because of requirements becoming stricter for them to be able to get approved. The bottom line is, a lot's changing in the business credit world, the same as it is in the business funding world, as we see more and more people actually coming in and getting more conservative with their guidelines. This happens all the time. Every time the economy shifts, before it happens, before we get into an official recession, what happens is lenders and credit issuers tighten up. All these changes start to take place. Then as we really move into an actual recession, then all heck breaks loose, and a lot of these things become harder to get. So what we've got to do is we've got to make sure that you have the roadmap to success with getting funding, loans, credit lines, and also getting all different types of financing, including business credit, into 2023. It's very important we do it now, because again, as conditions deteriorate, as there's more financial uncertainty, it just gets harder and harder to get money. It's not like it's the first time we've seen it. We've seen this happen many times before. Last time in 2006, 2005 area, we saw the exact same thing happen, and we're seeing it now. We saw the same thing happen during COVID too. So a lot of us entrepreneurs have seen this happen 2 or more times. Now we're under our third, where we're actually seeing this, and we know that we've got to stock up on money to be able to get to the next stage. By the way, if you're stocking up on money, tell me where you're coming in from. Give me a shout out. Tell me where you're coming in from. Tell me the industry that you're in. Even give me your company name, and I'll give you a free shout out here on the stream that gets seen by thousands and thousands of people. So I don't know, some free exposure for your business, and I can talk more to you direct because I know what industry you're in. So tell me where you're coming in from, state, city, and tell me what industry you're in, or even your company name. I love to say hello. Nicole says, hey, I've been seeing your videos. I'd like to know more about you and your services. Awesome, Nicole. Thank you very much. I'll give you plenty of opportunities during this training to know how to talk to us more right here. creditsuite.com/console. And on that console, we'll tell you all the financing you can qualify for. We'll give you tips and tactics to build your business credit. And we'll also even come in and tell you what's wrong with how your business is structured and what to fix to be more lendable. So all you have to do is go to creditsuite.com/console to be able to grab that. Nicole and everybody else. So tell me where you're coming in from, and let me give you a shout out here on the stream. So first of all, 2023 is going to be a great year for all of us, right? If you can get the money you need to succeed. Look, it's not gloomy when you see an economy shift. The reality is, as we saw in movies like The Big Short, no matter what happens in the economy, there are people that are prepared to take advantage of those opportunities and people that aren't. And the people that are prepared to take care of those opportunities, well, these are the stories that live in infamy that we talk about for decades and decades, right? So I can tell you that one of the biggest property management companies in the country, very big down here in Tampa as well, they bought up a ton of real estate in 2005, 2006. And that's what propelled them to be the biggest rental management company in the country, right? I've got people during COVID that were cupcake stores that opened mobile cupcake like trucks, something that I'd never seen before. And now they're going through massive expansion in the years since. Okay. I know people that are in the martial arts world that got their studios shut down during COVID, and they went in and opened online curriculums. And now they're going through massive expansion and franchising because they figured those things out. Look, you can do the same as I'm doing now. You can tell me story after story after story of people that made serious money because they took advantage of opportunities when the economy shifted. And all you really need to be in that position is money. Okay, we see businesses go through fire sales during this. People that are run businesses for 10, 20, 30 years. And then the economy shifts. And they're like, I'm done. I don't want to do this again. I put in my years. I'm going to sell my business. I'm going to sell it at a discount. They wait till the getting's not good, and then they sell their businesses at a discount. Real estate property prices are already falling. So all these opportunities present themselves for you and your business to acquire a competitor, acquire another business from scratch, to be able to jump in and get real estate, to be able to buy a lot of what you need to buy. Even marketing and advertising prices plummet when we see the economy shift because everybody pulls back when you should be moving forward, right? And this is the same thing all the experts say. I can't even remember the actual quote from Warren Buffett on this, which is like, hey, when everybody else is jumping on and taking advantage of it, that's when you should be scared. And when everybody else is pulling back, that's when the opportunity presents itself. If you know that quote, type it in. I'd love for somebody that remembers to actually give it a shout out. The bottom line is that while everybody else is going, I'm scared and pulling back, you have an amazing opportunity to go grab the real estate and landscape that they gave up. Did you see this during COVID? Did you see restaurants that dominated with takeout, right? They never did takeout before. Now they're dominating on takeout. If you're in New York City, you're seeing all of a sudden restaurants are now occupying spaces on sidewalks that they never had before. I was in Virginia and saw the exact same thing. So now all of a sudden their tables went from 30 tables to 50 because now they've got all this room to expand. They were doing liquor and I think beer takeout as well because it was allowed during COVID. They created these add-ons that made their business extremely more valuable. And then the others went out of business, right? TCBY, favorite yogurt shop, done, gone, out of business. Armani's one of my favorite restaurants here in Tampa, done, gone, out of business. I can go on and on. You can too. So what creates this world where when the economy shifts, some pull back and they're gone. They're not even in business anymore, while others come in and move their business forward at a pace that others thought was absolutely impossible. That's what we need. You want to make a decision. If you want to be on the grab real estate, move forward, become gigantic, and make 2023 your best year, you've got to get the money you need to succeed. You got to set up your business properly. You've got to start building business credit because it gives you the ability to get loans and credit lines easier. And you can get hundreds of thousands or even millions like our clients have secured. And revolving credit, you can buy a lot of the stuff that you actually need to buy. You need to be prepared for all the financing you need for the new year because this is what's necessary to make next year your real year to shine. We got Georgia in the house. Thanks for coming in. And we've also got Royal Contour Treats, Boutique Bakery Treat Shop. I love that. New Albany, Indiana. Casey Banks, Trunky, thank you for coming in and saying hello. Shandy with Dream 12 Properties, Columbia, South Carolina. Thanks for coming in. Is that Quana? Hair and Beauty in Detroit, Michigan. Queen Collection LLC. I love that. Dallas is in the house. New York is in the house. And TBS Global LLC Government Contracting out of St. Pete, Florida. My neighbor in the house as well. Type in your company name. I'd love to give you a shout out and say hello. So why do we even need to do this? Well, first of all, we got to build business credit because we need to stop using personal credit. What happens when the economy shifts is credit issuers lower our limits dramatically so they can free up credit to give to other people. Meaning, if we're not using all the credit that we have, then creditors or lenders pull it back. Then they use it to open new accounts. They get scared like the rest of us. So what they do is they say, we're not going to start issuing massive amounts of new credit. We're going to pull the credit back from people that aren't using it. Then we're going to use that freed up credit to go to other people. So we see this reduction of personal credit limits, and that makes it harder for us to use those personal credit cards to even try to fund our business. If we do, we really damage our consumer FICO score, because nearly a third of our entire FICO score on the personal side is utilization. What percentage of our limits are we using? And we use, if the limits are lowered by our credit issuers, we use higher percentages of those limits. So we need to really get away from using personal credit cards to fund our business, stop damaging our personal credit score. And let's be honest, let's open up the opportunity for us to still use our personal credit to get, SBA loans and stuff like that for the business, but also to take advantage of some opportunities we're going to see on the personal side. Look, real estate prices are going to adjust. And when they adjust, that gives you an opportunity to buy a new home, buy investment properties, buy properties you're going to Airbnb. Maybe it has nothing to do with your business, but we want to keep our personal credit intact to take advantage of those opportunities as well. And business credit allows us to do that. It also gets us access to just better funding options. If we want loans, if we want credit lines, if we want SBA, we need to have our business credit in check. Okay, I sat in Las Vegas and spoke at a board with all bankers. It was all bankers and me. I don't even know how I got on this board. And every single one of them said the same thing. The importance of business credit really matters when it comes to getting SBA financing. We have challenges where we help business owners get money. We got a Funding 30 challenge. If you keep an eye on our email list, that you'll be able to, if you're not on our email list, you can go to creditsuite.com/EIN to grab our free guide, download it over 1 million times, and get on our email list, and we'll get you access to our Funding 30 challenge in January. So when we do these challenges, we have so many lenders come out, even equipment lenders, and talk about the importance of building business credit to get approved. Business credit determines if you'll get approved or denied, how much money you'll get, and the rates and terms you'll pay. So the bottom line is, if you want to get approved for more money at better terms, you need to build business credit. It's like the secret sauce that helps you do that, get approved for more money at better terms, which is what you and I want to make 2023 our best year ever. And it includes SBA loans. Why do we like SBA loans? Because the rate is low and the loan amounts are high. So we get a lot more money with a lot lower payments. I'll give you a simple example. The first loan we ever got here at Credit Suite was $75,000 for our business. Our payments were over $9,000 a month because we had a very short term. You probably heard this before: merchant cash advances, MCAs, cash flow financing. Maybe you've gotten some of that yourself. Payments high because the interest is higher and the term is short. Then we went and got an SBA loan for $325,000, and our payment was only $4,000 a month. Our payment was half as much, and we got like $250,000 more in financing. So you and I both know where you should be on that end of the spectrum. We want you to get a lot more money and pay a lot less. But the only way we do that is if we get these longer term loans and longer term SBA loans. We can't get those without having good business credit. We need to build good business credit. It's very important to be able to get those longer term loans that we need. And it's just an asset. Okay, so it's also something that raises the enterprise value of your company. Look, if you are the leader, the CEO, the president of your business, your number one responsibility is to make sure that you increase and that you own the enterprise value of your company. You are responsible for how much that entity is worth. And it means that you get more when you sell, you get more when you raise money, you get more if you take out debt and borrow money. The bottom line is, the more your company is worth, the easier it is for you to get more money to make it worth even more money. But part of the enterprise value of the asset is whether you have business credit established or not, because that business credit gets transferred when you sell the business. So look, if you could choose between company A and B and all is the same and equal, and one company has $500,000 in revolving credit that comes with it and the other has zero, there's no competition. So it gives you a huge leg up while you are running the business to get the money you need to grow it. But the other thing is, it also gives you a huge advantage with raising the enterprise value if you ever go to raise money or to sell. Now, what can you use business credit for? Well, first of all, it increases your borrowing power, because what I find is that 85% of what you need to buy, you're able to use business credit for. I think it's my number one mistake I see business owners make. They're out trying to get $100, $200, $500,000 loans when they shouldn't be. And the reason I say that is that the more amount that you want to borrow, the harder it is to get. You try to get $500,000 or $1 million, you have to jump through all kinds of hoops that you don't have to jump through when you're looking for 10 or 50 grand. So what we want to do is we want to reduce the amount of money that we need a loan or credit line for. So I don't need a $500,000 credit line. What I need to do is figure out how to only get a $50,000 credit line and make that work, because it's way easier to get $50,000 than it is in $500,000. So how do we do that? We strategically use business credit. Business credit can be used to buy almost anything that you need to buy. If you're a flooring company, well, you can buy all of the supplies you use for your jobs for using business credit. If you're a general contractor and you're in the construction side, you can use business credit for almost 100% of what you need to buy to be able to do your job. It doesn't matter if you're an electrician, if you're a plumber, if you're like me and you work in an office, most of what we spend money to buy, we could use business credit for, right? And I always use the same example because I'm just here at my desk. I have a standing desk. I have a chair, I have my keyboard, my computers, my cameras, my ring light, my speakers. 100% of everything that occupies my work day is available through business credit. I can buy it on Amazon. I can buy it at Walmart. I can buy it at Staples and Office Depot and Sam's Club and Costco. You get the idea. So the bottom line is we want to use business credit to buy all the stuff that we can buy. Then there's very small amount of stuff that we may need a loan or credit line for, maybe payroll. Maybe I can't use a Office Depot credit card to pay payroll, so I want to use my credit lines and my loans for that. And this kind of strategic use of money allows us to use an asset that's very simple to get, business credit, to buy the stuff we can buy. And then it gives us more buying power and ability to use loans and credit lines for the stuff that we can't buy, besides the fact that it raises the value of our business and it sets us up for better financing as well. So it gets us the money we need to pay for 85% of our expenses. And then it also makes it easier to get loans and credit lines that we can't get with that, making it easier to get approved for loans and credit lines we can use for payroll and other things as well. TBS Global LLC already went through and said hello to you. TJ Auto Transportation Service, Tampa, Florida. Hey, Martin, thanks for coming in for Denver, Colorado. I appreciate that. And you're having a problem with DMB on your nav on different profiles. Okay, I want to pull this question up because I think this is important for us to see. It says, hey, I'm from Denver, Colorado. Tried the nav monitoring service. For some reason, my DMB is showing different data files under LLC and LLC in my business. Okay, so this is very not uncommon thing. So when we look at business credit profiles, what we want to know is that DMB Equifax Experian will assign it based on every business with a unique location. So I'm about to go over some things right now on fundability that'll help you fix this. But the bottom line is, if you ever change addresses and the bureaus don't see that you change addresses, they just see a new address for your business. Oftentimes they'll create duplicate addresses where there are multiple businesses with similar names at the same address. They'll merge stuff on the same business credit reports. I can't help you from your comment alone, but if you give us a call, we can talk through, get your business credit reports, go over those with you, and even give you some advice to be able to fix that as well. And we got Clean Air Autos LLC in New York. Nick, thanks for coming in and saying hello. So the very first step of building business credit, not going to spend a ton of time here. It's very important. But if you go to youtube.com/credit suite, you can see my training on fundability. We just got to make sure our business is structured the right way. Believe it or not, this is what accounts for between 50 and 70% of all denials. And this is shocking to business owners. It's not because your personal credit's bad. It's not because your business credit's not built. It's not because your income or your isn't high enough or your time in business isn't long enough. The bottom line is that lenders and credit issuers have a really basic sniff test you must pass. And if you pass the sniff test, well, then you're going to get approved. If you don't pass the sniff test, you never even get into underwriting. You just don't meet the basic criteria of what they're even looking for. So we want to get an LLC or a corporation. We want to know what our industry NAICS code is, a code that's used by the IRS, for example, to designate the industry we're in. We need to know what our code is. We need to make sure it's congruent on our business credit reports, on our tax returns, everywhere it's listed. We want to have a separate office address set up for the business. Even if you're working from home, that's okay. Don't use a home address or a UPS or a PO box. You want to go to creditsuite.com/virtual, or Go find a virtual office. Regus, Alliance, DaVinci. They offer these for sometimes as low as $50 a month. And those will give you a real office address at a big high-rise building in Tampa, Florida, for example. And it's a separate address for your business. Gives you a ton of credibility. Get a phone number, separate phone number, an email specifically for your business. Make sure your business email matches your URL for your website, right? My URL is creditsuite.com. My email address is info@creditsuite.com, for example. Make sure we get our phone number listed in 411 and any kind of yellow pages, online directories. Make sure all the information listed online is congruent. Set up a separate merchant account, bank account for our business. These are things that businesses that are doing business legit, they all have. You know, these are not the things that somebody that's testing a theory, working out of their home as a sole proprietorship, using their cell phone as their phone have. And it's the number one check lenders look at. Are you credible? Or are you not? It's that simple. Not credible, have a nice day. Go somewhere else. You're not for us. If you are credible, now let's take a deeper dive and see if you get approved. Again, between 50 and 70% of business owners get stuck right here. They could have got the money they wanted. They didn't get the money they wanted because they didn't pass the sniff test. This is the basic overview of how to pass the sniff test. You can also go to, if my team is here, type in the URL for business owners to be able to go to get our free mini course on fundability. I think I may get this right at one point. I think it's creditsuite.com/foundation. But let me check real quick before I tell you that, because we also have a free mini course that you can go to. And the free mini course, I found it. Yeah, I found it. Okay, so here it is. It's at creditsuite.com/mini course. Let me see if I can go back and show you the URL. I'm going to type in, so .com. I always mistype that. creditsuite.com/foundation. So you can see my URL right here. When I type in creditsuite.com/foundation, there's a free mini course that walks you through everything you need to know about fundability. So this will walk you through everything you need to know. I did a quick overview of it, but that course is going to give you everything you need to know to get fundability set up the right way. We also got to get set up with a business credit reporting agencies. Now, Equifax and Experian, and again, you can go to creditsuite.com/monitoring and to get your credit monitoring. It's like $24 a month for all three bureaus. If you go anywhere else, it's considerably more money. We're even cheaper than NAV themselves, because NAV lets us like underprice them on credit monitoring. We're literally the cheapest source for credit monitoring. It's creditsuite.com/monitoring. And with that, just do a basic check. And that's what we actually just heard from here. We actually just heard from somebody who says, hey, I went and checked, and this was Martin that said, hey, man, I looked at my NAV reports. Here's problems I found. So you never know if you have problems unless you pull those reports. Pull your credit reports and see what's on there. Okay, it's way cheaper. The credit bureaus charge you $250 a month. It's only $24. Take a look. Double check your information with Equifax, Experian. Check your information with D&B. Again, make sure all your information is congruent. And if you don't have anything on those reports, you desperately need to build business credit. Remember, the reporting agencies will give you failing credit reports and failing scores, even if you have no credit. Equifax and Experian, if they know your business name, your business address, and your NEICS, which they get from your Secretary of State, once they know that, then they automatically create a credit report, and you have failing credit scores even if you have no credit. Now here, I'll show you exactly what this looks like, because I think it's important not just to talk about stuff, but to actually show you what it really looks like. But it's something you really, really, really want to know about, because again, if you don't know this, then the problem is you're trying to get in there and you're trying to get approved for financing, and you don't even understand that the reason you're getting denied is because you have no business credit. And here's a look at what this looks like. You can see here, this score literally depicts your risk of going bankrupt, going out of business, shutting your doors. They call it for financial stability. And you can see how high a risk this is, about as high a risk as you can get. You can see that reason it's high risk is lack of trades. You can also see that if I scroll to the bottom, I'm at the bottom. There's nothing here because there's no accounts on the credit report. It's all zeros. So this is somebody that has an empty credit report, and they're getting a failing score, very high risk score, just because they have no credit. So this happens with everybody that doesn't build business credit. If Experian and Equifax know you exist, they create these. So we want to check and see what's on our business credit reports, and we want to make sure we especially build business credit if we need to, because there's nothing on those reports, it becomes very essential. And Devin says, should we be building business credit for the holding company or the actual? It doesn't matter as long as it's under an EIN. So if you have, sometimes a holding company has an EIN, then you do other companies as DBAs under the name. Well, if you do that, then the DBA doesn't have an EIN. It's a DBA. So the answer is you build business credit and can do it for every EIN you have. So sometimes you might have multiple businesses with multiple EINs, and sometimes you have one EIN with multiple DBAs under it. So, but you can only build business credit for the EIN. My advice is use business credit for the EINs you're primarily going to use. And if you're using and have multiple businesses, as many of us do, then there's nothing wrong with building business credit for every one of those businesses that has an EIN. A lot of our clients pay us to build business credit for one, then we help them follow the same steps and do it for 2, 3, 4, 5 entities. So there's a lot of variables in your question, but hopefully that helps you get to the answer. Clotilita Jackson, hello from Orchard Business Funding and Advisors in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, I'm a Credit Suite partner. Awesome. High five, virtual high five. And don't forget, we do have a partner program if you're interested in offering business credit financing as a service. So the second step is, now that our business is set up, we just want to follow a series of tiers of credit to actually move through the process. So it starts with what are called starter vendors. These are real easy to get. They're Uline, they're CEO Creative is another one. So with these kind of starter vendors, they'll give us credit when we have none, and they report the credit to the reporting agencies. So we don't have to start here. We can start with a program called Credit Line Hybrid, and you can get in touch with us, and my info will be on the slides. We can talk to you if you have really good personal credit, or a guarantor, like someone around you that has good personal credit that'll let you pledge that credit to qualify. Then you're able to get credit lines right now to grow your business right from the beginning, even as a startup, and they help you build business credit. You're good. But a lot of us don't have good personal credit. A lot of us don't have the ability to use somebody else's credit to get approved. So starter vendors are like a catch-all. Everybody can get them. You can, again, go to Granger and Uline and CEO Creative. They'll give you credit when you have none. They report the credit to the reporting agencies, and that'll help you build initial business credit. We want to get about 5 accounts across all 3 of our reports to get to tier 2. That's what we want. So what I mean by that is that if I got one account that reports to 2 reporting agencies, that counts as 2 of the 5. So if I have one account that reports to 3 reporting agencies, that's 3 of my 5. So we just want to have 5 accounts across all 3 reporting agencies. And in doing so, that gets us to tier 2. Now, tier 2, a lot of these are, and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about here. But a lot of these tier 2 are more revolving store credit. I call these retail credit. I call this tier really retail credit, because with retail credit, what happens is we start to get credit with major retailers, right? It's where we start to come in, and it's where we actually start to build business credit. We get credit with a lot of retailers as well, right? So we look at, for example, some of our tier 1 accounts here. Then we see some accounts like Uline and Phillips 76, even Incredible, right? We have a whole list of these type of starter vendors that help our clients actually get approved. But what's nice is that with tier 1 accounts, we're basically anybody's able to get approved. Now, with Phillips 76, for example, they might ask for a deposit or personal guarantee. If you build business credit, they don't. So you can choose whether to use them as a starter vendor or use them as one down the road, depending on if you want to provide a personal guarantee or not. The reason I say that's, if you're a trucker, well, then you might want to start building business credit with Phillips 76. If you work in an office like I do, well, then I'm not going to start with that vendor. I might get it down the road. So it depends on what you're going to use the credit for, whether you want to use that to start building business credit or not. But as we start to get into tier 2, we start to look at more retailers, right? So Floor & Decor, that's a great place if we're buying supplies because we're in the flooring industry, or we want to refloor our home, our business, or whatever it may be. So we start to get into a lot of these kind of tiers, and we've got some in here that are financing as well, but we also start to get into a lot of retail credit. Meyer grocery store, Office Depot, right? Quill for office supplies, Home Depot. You get the idea. In this tier, we're really looking at more revolving credit. Now, as we move on and we get to tier 3, and this takes we get about 5 total accounts here, and then we get a few more accounts in tier 2. By tier 3, we're usually up to about 8 accounts total across our business credit reports. Now we've really started to show a history. And so now what happens is we still get more retail credit offers, but here in tier 3, we also kind of start to move into fleet credit as well. We move into more gas cards, right? So we see a lot of retailers here, okay, office supplies, crowd office supplies. Then we start to run into gas cards. We start to run into fuel cards, for example. Here's a fleet card. So in tier 3, we see a lot more retail credit, and we see some bank credit here too. But we also start to, here's a retail credit with JetBlue, for example, an airline, Gimplers. But then we start to move into this stuff. These are all fleet cards, right? If we look at BP and Sunoco and Speedway, this is where we start to get a lot of gas cards and retail cards in this tier. Then we move our way to the final tier. And the final tier I personally associate with what I call universal credit or bank credit, and also auto financing. This is where I can get, auto vehicles, and my name, one of our clients got $185,000 at Ford. No credit check, no guarantee. Right? You're able to get $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 revolving Visa card, MasterCard, Amex card we can use anywhere. So in this tier, we start to get into more bank credit. Start to get into more universal credit is what we call this, right? PNC Bank and all these banks start to come into play, right? And we still got some of the fleet cards are still in here as well. And we still have some of the actual, revolving sources are in here as well, the store credit. So it's kind of a combination. But now you can see that we're opening up computer leasing. We're opening up cash credit. We're opening up auto financing. This is kind of the final tier here. And you got to have this tier to pretty much get to auto financing and universal credit. So a lot of different options here that, again, tie in both bank credit, auto financing, and then everything before it, fleet credit as well, revolving store credit as well. So again, and we got Blue District LLC Trucking Logistics. Thanks for coming in as well. But here's a perfect example, right? So Blue District LLC Trucking Logistics, when they're in this phase, they're able to get auto financing and literally buy trucks without personal guarantees or credit checks. But if we look at the same company and we come up here into tier 3, well, this is a very important tier for Blue District because Blue District is a trucking company. So in tier 3, we really want to be here because now we can start getting into Clark. Now we can start to get into Speedway, Sunoco. It's $600 to $1,000 to fuel a big rig. So to be able to get these gas cards with $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 limits is a really big deal. Now, we've also got, let's say, Nick here, and Nick is from Clean Car Autos, LLC. Well, Nick is really going to appreciate what we're able to get here more in tier 2, because tier 2, we're able to buy like a lot of supplies for auto. So, for example, I would imagine Clean Car Autos, maybe a car washing service. I don't know. I think so. So now we're able to get credit at places where we can start to buy all the supplies we need to wash those cars, right? Now we're able to get into HD Supply. We're able to get into, revolving store credit cards. Even Meyer works for that purpose, where we're able to start coming in. Home Depot works for this purpose, right? Now we're able to get the buckets and the sponges and the soaps and all the stuff we need to run the business. So the reason I'm showing you this is that, again, there's a big difference here in what companies actually do and how you're actually able to use this. So, for example, I've got Royal Couture Treats Boutique Bakery. So I would imagine here that we're actually a dog supply store. So in this case, we may actually want to come in and we really want to build business credit to get ourselves to tier 4, because tier 4, we get Visa cards, MasterCards. We're able to get auto financing to buy a van, put it on the road, wrap the thing, and then go around and sell like gourmet, dog treats and like dog stuff. So all I'm giving you is examples. We could even set up a mobile groomery if we're a grooming service, if we want to do that right there, because now we're able to get auto financing for that. We're able to get Visa card, MasterCard to buy the supplies we need. So the reason I give you real examples here is that, these are businesses that benefit differently based on each tier and the kind of credit that you're actually going to use. But this is the steps in 2023 to navigate business credit building and be able to get all the credit that you actually need. And here's some of the ones I typed in: Uline, CEO Creative, Pilot Flying J. These are all great starter vendors from what I mentioned to you in the beginning as well. Okay. And then when we get, when we move on, I already showed you a lot of credit in tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 that we can get as well. And Anna says, hey, I want to open a store. Should I build credit before opening using a virtual address or wait until the store is open? I would say the very first steps you need to do is open the business. You need to find out the name, if the name's available. This is my personal steps. See if the name's available. See if you can get the URL. If you can, get the URL from GoDaddy or a source like that. Then I go get the address from a place like Alliance. You can go to creditsuite.com/virtual. There's one of the cheapest, best I found. I get a phone number from RingCentral, and then I get my email address set up for my domain as well. Then I go to my Secretary of State and set up my entity. And the reason I do that is now when I set up my entity, I'm using the right address, the right phone number, the right website, the right email. I never need to change that stuff if I set it up first. Then after you have that set up, step one, fundability, then you want to come in and start building business credit on top of it. Now, if you're working with us as a client, we help you through step one. We help you with every aspect of that. But our clients always start with tier one fundability, set up the business, then start building business credit under that. Great question. Miami's in the house. I have a 790 credit score on my personal. Do I have to go through the steps? You don't. So let's talk about this. So you're saying I have a 790 personal credit score. I want to get funded without going through the steps. Then what happens is right here in step one, you don't have to do this. You can get a program called Credit Line Hybrid. It's completely based on your credit score. You can get upwards of 50, 100, or 150,000 in funding right away within 2 weeks or something like 2 to 3 weeks max time. Credit lines for $50, $100, $150,000. And then you can use those to fund the business, and that completes tier one. They report to the reporting agencies. So then automatically you accomplish tier one, then you jump to start getting credit at stores anyways. And by the way, so the answer to questions both. You can actually get the funding you need right away and start building business credit at the same time because it replaces tier one. So that's a great example, and that's a great question of how you can actually kind of skip step one, tier one, and then replace it with Credit Line Hybrid to get credit lines, and that helps you then skip this step and then jump right to step two. And Quentin says, hey, I've been following you for years. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I've had some success with your teaching, and I'm ready to go to the next level. Thank you for all your help over the next year. Great. I'm looking forward to you making 2023 your best year. So, Quentin, thanks for coming in, and thanks for the kind words. Okay, so what's your next step? Well, first, you can get a free business credit assessment with us if you just go to creditsuite.com/consult. You can give us a call too. On this assessment, we do three things. We do a fundability check. We say, this is jacked up with your fundability. You got to fix this. This is probably why you've been getting denied. We help you fix that first. We can get your business credit reports for you for free for 30 days. DNB, Equifax, Experian, go over those with you, give you tips and tactics to build business credit. We also do a funding assessment, tell you all the money you can get right now, the loans and credit lines, all that happens at creditsuite.com/consult. If you want more vendors, more details on the steps, then just go to creditsuite.com/EIN. It's 100% free, a downloadable guide. I think over 1 million downloads of this guide. And so very, very popular, needless to say. And it maps out everything you need to know to build business credit. Those are your next steps for help along the way. And don't forget, if you're interested in working with Credit Suite, then we are having a year-end sale for this last week of the year of 2022. We're going to throw in $10K worth of bonuses, including $2,400 worth of credit monitoring. Your credit monitoring is free for a year. You don't have to pay anything for it. Bureaus charge you $250. We give it to you free for a year. Plus, we give you a lot of other bonuses, including a business builders bundle that has like 30 guides, kits, video series, everything on building a business, branding, marketing, scaling, virality, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, everything you need to make next year your best year ever, you're getting in this $10,000 bonus package. And all you have to do is just use promo code when you check out with this 2022, or just give us a call. Here's our info, or send us an email. We could talk to you more, give you your free finance assessment, and we can make sure that you get this really cool $10K worth of bonuses to make next year your best year ever. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or send us an email, info@creditsuite.com. When you're at creditsuite.com, top right of our page, spend 1 minute and just like and subscribe on our social channels. If you put notification bell and select all on YouTube, we'll notify you when we go live. And then we also have, sorry about that, my phone only rings when it's one of my kids. They are the only ones with breakthrough ability to be able to make my phone ring. So that will happen once in a while, especially when they're out of school for a break. So make sure you give us a call, get your free finance assessment. Don't forget to like and subscribe at creditsuite.com. And then don't forget to ask about our special promo for the rest of the year where you're getting this $10,000 worth of bonuses to make your next year your best year ever. And it says, thank you. Should I change the virtual address to the store address once the store is open? I don't. I use the virtual office as the same office address always, because then that way, even if you change locations, your main address never needs to change. But again, that will be different on Google profiles, things like that. We can help you more. Feel free to give us a call for a free finance assessment. So thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure if you're just getting here at the end, go back to the beginning. We gave you the entire roadmap here in 40 minutes to build business credit in 2023. And what's the best website for business phone? Ringcentral.com is what we recommend for best phone number. And don't forget to give us a call. Just because I'm done doesn't mean your questions have to go unanswered. Give us a call at 877-600-2487. We'll give you your free finance assessment. We'll talk to you about your 10K of bonuses as well. And we'll help you get started the right way to get all the money you need to make next year your best ever. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great day. Look forward to seeing you on our next training where we talk about more cool